never come back again. It's got a death curse. It's got a death curse.
Drop.
Welcome in to a brand new episode of the Death Curse Club. I am owner-operator of this fine establishment, Zach Hilton. The hostess is off this week, but we got the barkeep. Jim Zayas is here. What up, Jim?
I'm here because I was in the comic book.
What comic book?
Oh my God. If you would let me show you that damn movie, you would have known what that's from.
I don't. Oh, the Boo movie?
No. The other one that I keep trying to push on you.
Oh, no. What's the other one you're trying to push?
The one I've been trying to push on you for like years.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you know, it's in there. It's just not this genre. It's a different genre.
Okay, it's a different genre. That's why. Okay, then I'm not in that mindset.
It's for a different show.
A different show. Oh, that's Patreon only. I see. I got you. Oh my God, what up, Jim? I don't feel like there's been a lot of news. Like today's show is just going to cover the big horror trailers that we've seen come out, and then we're going to do a quick non-spoiler review for Sinners, then a more spoiler review, because I feel like with what happened over the weekend really took a hold of what I feel there's a certain media out there trying to snuff this film like it's not a success. But boy, oh boy, did they prove them wrong over the weekend, past 2 weekends. And we'll get into that later. But am I missing any other news that's kind of important?
Not that I can think of. Like you said, it's been all trailers. I mean, I think the only thing that came out that I don't know if you talked about was the Ready or Not cast, and that was about it.
Yeah, that was during, I think I was just going on vacation, and it popped up, so I didn't really find it worth noting. But I do think it is kind of a big announcement in the way of they did this cool little teaser of dropping all these tarot cards down on the table with names, and it started with both Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton. And then it just started giving names. Some of them you know, some of you don't. But like Sarah Michelle Gellar was a name that dropped. Elijah Wood was a name that dropped. And I think there's one more. And
David Cronenberg.
David Cronenberg, which isn't David Cronenberg a director?
He's a director that also does a lot of acting. And when he acts, he's great.
Yes, no, 100%. Because he was in Jason X, correct?
He was. Yeah, he died in the beginning.
Yeah.
He was the doctor in Nightbreed.
And he is a Starfleet like admiral in Star Trek Discovery. So like it's really interesting how much he is actually in my like universe more so than not.
Oh, unlike most people, I'm probably more excited about Cronenberg than I am Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I get that. No, I'm very excited for Sarah Michelle Gellar, as we've talked about on this show, bar none. Like the Buffy reboot's a very important thing for me, and hopefully that gets done well. But I do feel like we're in a 90s renaissance of just actors, like how there was a Kevin Bacon one, how there was a Nick Cage one. I feel like teen actors of the 90s are becoming this like, oh, we got to make sure we get them in there. And we'll talk about that in the trailer in a couple of minutes. But overall with this cast for the Ready or Not 2, which I was skeptical about for as a movie, but the cast announcement kind of settled me down in more so of, do I want this to happen, to more of like, okay, show me what you got.
Yeah. I think the cast is great.
Yeah. I think,
and it fits into the tone of the first one. Like what you're getting, when you look at that cast, you go, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, like Adam Brody, who was in the original. I'm like, okay, so is Elijah Wood going to be playing that kind of type of character? What's Sarah Michelle Gellar's role in this? I feel villain if I sense anything. I think David Cronenberg's going to play like the father type. Right. If that's the route we're going, or some kind of, if we're going to copycat it or not, I don't know. But I'm excited. I think that was a fair news point. before we go any further, Instagram, Threads, Death Curse Club, make sure you follow us there. I have Zach Speakeasy. Me and Brooke are going to record our vacation talking with Brooke and Zach, what we did throughout that vacation. And how fun it was. We also have Facebook, Throw Me Lounge, where this drops. I think other shows drop there. I don't know anymore. I'm gonna have to talk to the guys soon. But yeah, so that's all the stuff there. Let's get into this action-packed trailer covering show. Last week was the start of Trailer-thon, what I'm calling it, at least from all aspects of trailers, which I feel very lucky with the 4 that we're going to talk about now, because I think they're all 4 kind of important movies for horror within this year. And we'll start with I Know What You Did Last Summer. And on this channel, the Death Curse Club, you can check out my trailer reaction, which I think is still fitting for that trailer. You don't get a lot. It's this girl, she's going to do this bath bomb, and she goes and gets relaxed, and then her boyfriend, I assume, gets a harpoon gun to the chest and then killed. Pretty much on beat to what the original was. Something happened last summer and stuff's going down. Freddie Prinze Jr. seems like he's playing Quint of this town, and he's like, this stuff happens all the time. And then character from the movie goes and visits Jennifer Love Hewitt, and she asks, I just have one question. What did you do last summer? And that's the trailer. Jim, do you have thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it was every piece of crap that I expected it to be, and that the reports out of CinemaCon kind of said it was going to be.
Right.
And it feels like a forced legacy thing. They don't need to be there, from what I can see in that trailer. As far as Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt, I don't think they need to be there. So
I do feel, as I said earlier, there is this like 90s renaissance for 90s actors. I feel exactly that. When you told me that they just feel stuffed in there, that's exactly what this is. It's like, and you could tell that's kind of the motif for the movie, because I think I read this somewhere where Sarah Michelle Gellar was asked to come back, and she was like, I'm dead. How do I come back? That doesn't make sense. I'm not doing that. And that's what this movie feels like. It feels like it's just a generic script of I Know What You Did Last Summer, which, when did this get written? Because wasn't there just a show that got canceled of I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
So, like, is this just one of those scripts that lie around and they were like, okay, Halloween worked, Scream worked, let's just cash in what we own? Because I forget, is it Sony that owns this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I know Sony tries to put out whatever IP they have. They try to go hard into the paint of putting it out. But I don't know. This one's not for me so much. So I think, knowing that it's a Sony property, I don't think I'll be seeing this in theater. I think I'll wait to watch on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know about the Sarah Michelle Gellar thing. I do remember seeing that quote, but I don't know if it was them actually coming to her, or just like fans or an interview asking her if she was going to come back for it. Because I know the fans want her. I know the fans wanted her to live over Jennifer Love Hewitt's character. They thought she was a better character. And as far as this goes, it feels like a script that they were going to make this movie one way or the other, and halfway into pre-production, or halfway even into production, they go, "Oh, they're actually going to come back. Oh, okay, let's squeeze them in somewhere."
Right.
I think this movie was going to get made one way or the other, with or without them, and they just, once they decide, "Oh yeah, we'll come back," then it's like, okay, we'll write them in somehow.
Right. And I think you're absolutely right there. I think this is just one of those circumstances of we're just wanting money because legacy sequels are winning. If there's anything about this movie that is a win for another movie, I think is the upcoming Scary Movie. I think if they base that movie on how legacy sequels are being treated right now, this is it. You figured it out. Because I even read, here's your one bit of news. I saw that Urban Legends is getting a reboot movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so what? In 3 weeks, am I going to get a Skulls announcement? Am I going to like? Are we just going through all these? What's that one with Matthew Lillard, Dead Man or something, where with the cliff? I forget what it's called, but boy, oh boy, watching that movie, that's a core memory unlocked because the original of that movie, there's a bit where Matthew Lillard is bringing an ex-girlfriend who I think is played by Kerry Russell to Kerry Russell's dating Sean Flannery or whoever the fuck is in this movie. And Matthew Lillard, the scumbag's like, oh, I'll get your girlfriend. You guys need to get back together. I'll bring her to your room. And, you know, you guys will make up and stuff. So make sure you put flowers and stuff all up in it and stuff. And this is like in a college campus or whatever. And Matthew Lillard fucking like, just wait in the closet. I'll bring her up there and then you pop out or whatever. Fucking, he's getting her drunk. She's like, no, I really like you. I really like you. Gets into the room. And literally she drops to her knees and starts blowing him. And fucking Matthew Lillard looks at the closet knowing the guy's there. And he bursts out and leaves. Oh my God. What a ballsy scene. I will never not have that scene in my mind. Anyways, I know what you did last summer is coming out.
Yeah. I mean, Urban Legends fine. If Urban Legends is just going to be a remake, that's fine. Let's not connect it. It doesn't need to be connected.
Like Joshua Jackson doesn't need to be in there. We don't need to talk about Robert Englund being the teacher. We don't need any of that.
Yeah, we don't need any of that tie-in. Let's just remake it because it wouldn't work. Just like this, there was no reason to tie it in. At least with Scream or even Halloween, there's enough of a legacy there to explain why these characters come back. There's no reason for these characters to come back because 20 years ago, some people got killed too.
Right. And again, it's, you know,
it's not related.
Right. And what's funny is like when I look at the Halloween franchise, Scream franchise, it's very grounded into the characters involving with their killers, being like, Sydney is the focal point of Ghostface. The fishhook killer from part 1, that's the end of what that story. When they did part 2, that's why people don't like it, because it's just like, what are you even doing? And then because they're not in the sequels that go further, like I said, the Ghost one, and I think there's even another one. Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are not legacy characters people want to see.
Right.
And I am, and maybe I'm the only one here that's saying this, but like, when they did the grand reveal of Jennifer Love Hewitt, I was like, who cares? Ghost Whisperer. Like, I don't care. Let's move on to one that I did enjoy. Did a trailer reaction to this one. It's doing pretty well on the YouTube. Predator Badlands. This is a movie that I think I don't go a week without talking about, at least waiting for this trailer, because Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey, a wonderful, wonderful movie that went straight to streaming, which was crazy. They said, you know what? You gave us a great movie. We underutilized you. We are going to give you another Predator movie, and you are getting IMAX treatment for that. So knowing all this and hearing the rumblings that it's based in the future and stuff, that was exciting. A month ago, they released that Predator Killers animated trailer, and he's directed that too. Okay, give me this teaser, and let me tell you, perfect teaser. The way the Predator looked, which is pretty funny because I saw this comment on my reaction that everybody's freaking out. The Predator looks dumb, yada yada. Apparently, this is a runt class Predator. And what I thought was ingenious, they've made the face where he can emote and stuff, and like his body looks humanoid, more human. This is that like unspoken, let's make him like we can root for him because he is smaller. He's an underdog and he does have humanish features, which I think is the attractive part to make people who aren't Predator fans or whatever to get in there, because it's like, okay, it's an avatar basically.
It's a humanoid.
Right. It's a humanoid that we can root for. This teaser wowed me. I got the little hints of the Alien with the ship in the background being of the Wayland Corporation, and Ellie Fanning looking like she's a android from that world. Like the fact that it's in the future, the space field, the planet looks dangerous, reminds me of Predators. Like this world, and even in the trailer, it says Dan Trachtenberg brings you to a world of hurt. Like everything about this teaser wowed me. How did it do for you?
Yeah, I loved it. I was looking forward to this movie. I also loved Prey.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking forward to this movie. I was looking forward to this trailer, and I think everything you just said is on point. The music was great as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think this is probably the first Predator movie that actually looks and feels futuristic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Usually it's very present day feeling, or even when they try to go into space, it still doesn't quite have that futuristic feel to it, where this one
Right,
definitely does.
right.
Um, my only thing that I have a question of, and I don't care one way or the other, but I am
Okay,
curious how they handle the language.
okay.
Is he going to speak? Are we going to dub it? Are we going to subtitle it? Or are we going to do like we did with Prey, where it's all basically in English, and then on the
Mm-hmm.
Blu-ray we can get the Predator language version?
Right, right. That's a very good question, because I do think Ellie Fanning's role in this, which I've also just recently seen that she's supposed to be playing twins.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it'll end up being like one's android, one's human, or whatever. But that's a great question, because I'm okay if he doesn't talk. I'm
Yeah,
okay if it is like he just does his and fucking we get subtitles, but Ellie Fanning's doing. Here you go. Perfect for you. If it's a very Chewbacca Han Solo scenario where
mhm.
makes his sounds and Ellie answers in the form of explaining to us what he means. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm okay if there's not a lot of language. If it is in English, there is a chance that throws me off.
Mm.
Like maybe I get used to it while watching the movie, but there's a bit of me of like when I watch the Predator scream or make its little,
Mhm.
his lips aren't moving.
Right.
So like to what I am now grossed out to the idea of seeing Predator be like, well, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like it kind of grosses me out a little bit.
I mean, I think subtitles are the best option if you're going to
Yeah.
do the language on the Predator.
Mm-hmm.
There was a movie or a show, and maybe when I start talking about it, you'll remember, where it starts off in like a foreign language, and then something kind of happens, and it just kind of
It's
blends into English, and you're like, okay, and it's a seamless transition.
okay. If it's what I'm thinking about, it's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. At the
It's not.
beginning, okay, but at the
I mean,
beginning,
yeah,
they're talking Russian in the sub, and
okay,
then it like translates right into like talking English
okay.
for the
I'm
rest
thinking
of
of
it.
something else, but okay.
Okay. Yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean, they
yeah.
could do something kind of like that, but it would
Mhm.
feel awkward watching the Predator, like you said, going.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see again the lip movement kind of thing.
Mhm,
Now, if it's somehow like he's still talking how he is, but there's like a robotic voice
mhm,
overdubbing it, I can get behind that.
yeah.
Um, it'll be interesting. I think what's very special about this film is that it's ambitious. I mean, we're following a predator as the protagonist. There's secrets to it. Dan Trachtenberg literally tweeted out, "Oh, that was literally a tease. You are not ready for what comes in this movie," which really gets me like thinking about what could it be. I think because there's been talk about he's been outcasted, the Predator.
Mhm.
He's on this planet for the ultimate hunt. I kind of wonder if the ultimate hunt is a xenomorph.
I'd be surprised if it was, just because, again, like I said with you before, I
Mhm.
don't think they have the restraint to keep it out of that first trailer.
Right,
I don't know,
right,
but I also think this opens up the door
right.
by making him the protagonist and making and keeping the focal point on the Predator. This opens up the door for an Alien versus Predator movie without humans,
Yes. Oh,
because that's
absolutely.
we don't need humans in that movie.
Well, once we establish that the Predator can be the protagonist,
Right,
like that's when this becomes, oh, the xenomorphs are just going to be the bad guys the entire
right.
time, and we can get a whole tribe of these guys to go after them or something. Um, I did hear rumors that the Fede Alvarez Alien Romulus 2 is to feature a Predator.
Mm.
So I think this is way closer than before. And someone brought this up, and I want your um, theory on this or your feelings on this. If this is to make way to do an Alien vs Predator movie again, and we're there, are we able to detract from going there? And what I mean is, it seems like with the monster universe of Godzilla and Kong, like it was Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla and Kong, and then the next movie is still Godzilla and Kong. Is this going to get to a point where we can't separate the franchises?
No, I think you can, because there's still enough outside worlds out there that you
Mhm.
can still tell
Right,
separate stories, and as long as there's a desire to tell its own stories, because the difference is you have Godzilla and you have Kong. You don't
right,
have like the clan of Godzilla and the clan of Kong. You have a
right,
ton of different predators, and the xenomorphs are essentially bugs. So it's easy
right.
to separate them and tell separate stories and not be like, oh, it's always going to be this one predator and this one
Right,
xenomorph. And then they're
right.
going to tag team the next movie to take on the Independence Day aliens.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
don't do it to me. And see,
and then Will
that's
Smith shows up.
ooh, I've had it with these. Okay. Um, here's my thing about because I saw the people freak out being like, oh, that's the alien head from Independence Day. And I'm not saying it couldn't be, but what kind of irked me about it is like, I have accepted that Predator and Alien are in the same world. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's this line where now, like, okay, now I have to put in a completely different lore into this, which was the world almost got blew up in 1995, 6, whatever it was.
Mhm.
When did Wayland come in? How does Wayland fit into like those kind of things then start to bother me because Independence Day has its own lore.
Yeah.
And
I don't
that's
think it's a
hard.
thing. I don't think
Okay.
it's the thing where they're
I
like,
don't think so.
oh, it's this is part of it. I think it's just a cute little Easter egg, kind of like R2 C3PO hieroglyphics in
Indy.
Indiana Jones. Like
Right.
it's that. It's that.
Okay.
It's, hey, this is the Fox property.
Well, that's what originally I feel the Predator 2 alien skull was supposed to be.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is just a cute Easter egg. And then that shit blew up. And
Right.
then we get comics, then we get games, then we get movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to be a thing.
I don't
I
think people love
personally
Independence Day enough, especially after the
that's what I'm
second
saying.
one.
Second one, Jesus Christ. All right, so let's move on to our fresh trailers. Earlier, what last week there was a tease to Weapons, where it was, um, just with camera footage of children running and some dialogue said, and I thought that was really the only tease that we would get because I got that teaser with Sinners.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, so that's what we're going to get for the next couple of months. I love it. Unbeknownst to me, but beknownst to the world, we got a full-blown trailer today. We got a poster as well. This is the poster that released for Weapons from Zach Eggers or Kreggers or whatever the hell his name is. You had a chance to watch this?
Yes.
Give me your thoughts. Tell me, how did you feel about the Weapons trailer?
I like the trailer. I think it's got a solid cast involved. It's got a lot of creepy imagery and feels to it. I
Mhm,
didn't really know too much going into the trailer other than the basic idea of what it was going to be. So,
mhm.
yeah, I'm into it. I'll definitely want to watch it.
I'm okay. So Barbarian, I enjoyed. I think it was a little too hyped up for what it was. But I did enjoy watching the film. But I've had this like, how can I explain this? I feel like the world, the internet, and everybody has made Zach to feel like he is the next coming of horror gods, being M. Night Shyamalan being one, Jordan Peele being another, and now we have this guy. And for me, I've had some trepidation. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the
Trepidation.
trepidation? There it is. Trepidation about this guy. When the teaser came out, it really excited me. I was like, okay, we're doing some old schools Blair Witch promotion for this movie. And then they decided to release the trailer. And when I watched it, I like it. Um, Things that worry me were Julia Gardner, because coming off her performance in Wolfman, I was like, okay, I hope she brings that acting I thought she would in the last movie, but whatever. Then I saw Josh Brolin and I got really excited because I love Josh Brolin. And if you can get him to be in this movie, this has to have something that drew him in. Um, and then I saw Zach talk about how if you thought Barbarian was weird, this movie goes nutso. That excites me. And I don't think they gave enough images in the trailer to show too much.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea of this one classroom, all the kids are gone, they're never coming back. And then it kind of like they're coming after Julia Gardner, who's the teacher. And then we get a scene where it's dark and she's in the classroom, but all the kids are there. One smiles. And we just get images and just really unsettling stuff. And I think that's very, very good. I'm holding on. I'm not fully committed. I think everybody I know is really into it and I'm excited for them. I'm just not, I guess I can't pull the trigger yet. And I don't want to watch anything else till the movie. Like if they were willing to give a full trailer not a week after that tease, I'm just okay. I guess we're going to get another trailer in 3 weeks. And that's going to give the entire plot of the movie. And that may not be a Zach thing. That may be Warner Brothers like, no. We got to let them know what this is. Do you get where I'm coming from at this?
Yeah, but I think, I mean, first of all, I do agree with you on Barbarian. I enjoyed it. I thought I, but I wasn't blown away. It wasn't my favorite movie of the year. I enjoyed it.
Right.
It's fine.
Right.
I thought the tonal shift in the middle was needed because I didn't think
Mhm.
otherwise it was going to sustain itself for an hour and a half.
No.
But anyway, yeah, I get what you're saying about this, but I think it's just a situation where that initial tease was the tease before the trailer. Because nowadays you don't just release like a teaser and then it's like you release the tease of the teaser and then you release the teaser of the trailer and then it's like the trailer
Mhm.
comes and there's like
Right.
so many little like, build up things. So I don't
Mhm.
know that we get another trailer anytime soon.
Mhm.
But this was a great trailer for me as somebody who doesn't like too much information. We
Yeah.
got the plot and a bunch of
Mhm.
random shit that I couldn't connect to the rest of it, to where you
I
can
wouldn't
go.
even say I wouldn't even say we got the plot because
Well,
all we know
I'm
is
saying
the
the
kid.
initial the
Right.
initial setup
Right.
because they even said like, hey, this happened, and that's just the beginning of the story. And I'm
Exactly.
like, that's all I need. Like, give me the
Right.
basic setup and the tone and and that's all I want out of a trailer. I don't want to finish watching a trailer and be like, oh, I just saw the whole movie. Cool. And I
Right.
already, this
Right.
is when so and so dies.
But that's what I guess that's where I was coming from of when they released that teaser last week. I was kind of blown away of how constrained it was of just hearing voices, seeing the
Mhm.
eerie footage, and sending you to a website of a newspaper. I was like, okay, this is kind of neat of how you're doing this. And just to full blown trailer it, and not a week later, that's where my like wall came up of okay, it's just a movie, I guess. You know what I mean? Where
Right.
I felt like we were about to get a second coming of promotion of Blair Witch, Cloverfield, that like just real different coverage.
Mhm.
And now we just got a regular trailer, which I'm not against. I like the trailer, but there is this like apprehension that I have of I don't want you to tell me how good something is until I can fucking say it, kind of deal.
Mhm.
I know that's a weird way to explain it, but like that's kind of how I feel. I feel like this guy in his second movie is just going to like he's just perched for this like I'm God of horror, and I don't want to
They
hear that.
but they do that with everybody nowadays. I mean, they
They
did it when
don't.
they did it with Jordan Peele. They did it.
Did they do it to fuck, I don't know his name offhand. Did they do it to the Smile guy? Because I feel like he's just like, hey, I made a cool movie too. And
Yeah, nobody knows his name.
it made more fucking money than this guy's movie.
Yeah,
So like
they do it often. Let me put it that way. They don't do it with
yeah,
everybody, but they
yeah,
do it often, where it's just like they get on board with
I
somebody, or
know.
and it's just like, okay, this is it. But
And I'm not saying I'm not on board with this guy, but like to come out with one movie that
mhm.
is okay at best. Sorry for whoever loved it, but it's literally just two short films smashed together with one plot. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it almost comes off as what are they called? What are they called? Like a fuck, what the fuck is it called? Like Trick or Treat,
Oh
where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
all short,
Anthology.
like it's an anthology movie,
Yeah.
practically just two stories. And like I enjoy it. I enjoy Barbarian, and I'm sorry that this just became a fucking blast this guy, which wasn't my intention. But
Hmm.
like, can I get two films out of him before we start calling him the
Yeah.
fucking next Stephen King?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way about everybody. Let me get a second movie before I'm like completely on board with that director, because there's a lot of
100%.
directors that their second movie I didn't love. Like
What's it?
as much as I like their first movie, then the second movie comes and I go, oh, that wasn't for me.
Fucking
Jordan Peele.
Josh Trank. Josh Trank fucking comes out with Chronicle. Oh, he's fucking great. Does Fantastic Four. Who's Josh Trank?
Right. Yeah, that all falls apart. But I think we're gonna get a lot of
Exactly.
trailers. I mean, we're in that we're running into blockbuster season where it's gonna be a random trailer every damn week
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
real
what this will
nice.
be attached to. I expect Predator to be attached to the Yelena movie. Um, and yeah, that's right. I said it.
That's the asterisk. They don't want to tell you it's called
Yelena the movie.
Yelena and the Dark Avengers.
But I'm
um,
looking forward to seeing that in the theater. That
Yeah, oh
trailer.
my God. Yeah, the Predator one.
Yeah.
God damn, give it to me. Especially with like if you go see it an IMAX version of a movie,
Yeah.
I bet you it's all the shots in IMAX and shit.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
But
All right, last
yeah.
trailer I just want to hit on right now. Netflix released the trailer for Fear Street's Prom Queen. I've been waiting for a full trailer for this. I like the feel of it, like playing the 80s music and about, oh, I'm going to be prom queen. And you got this raincoat serial killer going after people. Like it's Netflix. So it's like, I can only get so excited. But I think it did wonders better than I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh yeah. It's a much better trailer. I mean, I'm a sucker for the 80s time
Same,
frame anyway.
same.
So once you had so the music alone just had me in.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun slasher.
Mhm.
I don't know that it'll have one of the appeals of the Fear Street from before was that it had the three movies that were
Yeah.
interconnected and all that.
Yeah.
We're not going to get that this time. This is just going to be a single movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that takes away from it, but
I,
I think it is. Like you said, it's Netflix. You can only get so excited, but I think it looks 100 times better than I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'll watch it for sure when it comes out.
You're right. I do think it plays in that universe, the same
Yeah.
universe. I think it's the school.
Yeah, it's the same school. There was something in there about I don't know. There was something in there about something.
Yeah, but I do think they'll mention it, so it'll be a nice, like, oh, nice little side quest we watch before we get the next set of trilogy. But yeah, it just looks fun. I'm into it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
Um
Prom Queen. What is it? What is it called? Oh,
Prom Queen.
Prom Queen, a Fear Street story.
Fear Street story. It really is. I love that. Um, fucking. What do you think of all the trailers that we talked about? Are you a fan of all these things? Not a fan of all of them? Do you hate Predator? Do you love Barbarian? Can you fucking hate me because of weapons? Do whatever you got to do. Leave a comment below. Also, we're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. If podcast is your jam, make sure to subscribe there, like us, do all the things. Help this show out. We're trying to grow here, mother suckers. All right, last thing that we're going to do right now is we're going to give a non-spoiler quick review of Sinners and then more details of why the movie is what it is and that glorious second weekend it got. My quick thoughts on this. I had to wait to see this. I was on vacation when it came out. And then that Monday or Tuesday, I went to go see it after its opening weekend. And everybody that I saw loved it. And I couldn't wait to see it. I saw it. I was literally blown away. There will be a scene that we talk about that I've heard multiple people say after the fact that it's kind of intense emotional feeling. And I got that feeling, and that's what this movie conveyed, a lot of emotions from me. I thought it was well acted, definitely well shot. It has a creepy vampire story, a great drama story. I loved every actor in this, from Michael B. Jordan, Michael C. Jordan. I loved Haley Steinfeld in this. All the other actors, the supporting cast, are great. I think this is a rock and sock movie. I think it is a game changer movie. And if there's critics out there that are trying to make you feel like it's not, I kind of fucking think that's a lie. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Non-spoiler thoughts, Jim.
It wasn't quite the movie I thought it was going to be, but it was definitely the movie that I should have expected it to be. It
Mm-hmm.
was the Black Panther of vampire movies, and I
Mm-hmm.
say that in the best way possible.
Okay. And what do you mean Black Panther of
Vampire
movies?
movies. I mean, it was full of history and culture.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, that we get like with Black Panther, it brings that into the
Right.
superhero universe, and that
Right.
brought this into a vampire movie.
That's true. Like Black Panther created a world, like legitimately created a world, and this creates a world, which we'll get into now. So if you're not going to hang out with the spoilers, thanks for listening, watching. You know, like I said, sub to the YouTube and do all that stuff. But now we are going to get into spoiler territory. 3, 2, 1. I think you're absolutely right about the world it made when it began with, like, they say music can bring spirits back from the past, bring spirits from the future. And they started listing all the different places that did this, like different tribes and like worlds. I was like, okay, I'm kind of into this. I like that music's going to be very prominent. And then it really is throughout the movie. It's almost a pseudo musical type of movie, with when they burst out in song, between human and vampire. And the scene that I was talking about that just wowed the fuck out of me, because you say that line at the beginning, and then there is a scene literally in the middle of the movie when they got their club juke going, and Sammy gets on the guitar and he starts playing, and then all of a sudden we're getting ancient tribes showing up within the dancing. We're getting future like bebop dancing and rapping and turntables, and it's one shot flowing through this whole thing where it's intermingling with the 30s. And then like the place is burning down and everybody's dancing, having a good time, and the vampires see this and they want some of that action. Literally goosebumps right now. I don't know why am so emotionally bound to it, but that scene fucking shook me dead to my rights. And like, it really goes to show you how much they've all just created so much that we love the world. Like, it is wild to me how impactful this film did hit me. I think we live in a time of like, people forget, and weirdly this movie shows you why you need to remember how fucking hard it was for some people, and you shouldn't forget that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful scene, and Coogler has proven in the past that he knows how to handle a one-shot scene.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a celebration. Scene specifically, but the whole first half of the movie essentially is a celebration of Black culture,
Yes.
and that ties into what I said about the Black Panther thing.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. Like you said, it just was it's I can't even really put it into words. Just
You
watching it,
can't.
it's just you're like, man, this is a really like I remember there was a guy like 2 seats away from me, and I actually watched him like sit forward and like just staring at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It,
it's an impactful movie, and I think I could see where if I was, had a tie to all that, it would impact me even more.
right. And I think that's the thing is like, you know, Coogler said that there was going to be some messaging in this movie, and you could kind of see it from the trailer, but like the fact that it doesn't hit you over the head, it is in your face and you get it, but it's not a scenario where I feel like you're just doing it to do it. And that's kind of the thing. And I think the world that we live in, where those articles were coming out of almost being like, Ryan Coogler gets the rights to this movie in 25 years. And basically these articles are just like, this is going to kill the studio system because he was able to do this. And it almost gives me like I give Warner Brothers kind of credit for giving him that deal, because that's kind of the fucking message of the movie of like, let these people own their shit. You don't own them.
Right.
And it's just this movie, just from top to bottom, because I told you when I got done with it, I was like, it was like fucking from dusk till dawn with a message, because you're watching one movie and then shit goes crazy. But like, everything fucking mattered in this movie. And I'm not saying like From Dusk Till Dawn didn't matter or anything like that, but like,
it's a completely different feel.
It's a completely different feel of like, we're getting behind each and every one of these characters, from Smoke and Stack, who are two brothers who went to war, came back, went to Chicago, they didn't love it up there, so they figured out some ways to get money to open up this place for their people. And when they bought the place, when they bought the club, there's this just throwaway line of like, and don't y'all come back and try to get more money, because we're going to fucking shoot you. And then the vampires, who have taken over 2 clan members that were a part of that guy who sold, were going to come back to kill them. And when they got that information, the last scene of this movie is one of my favorite things in the world, because they didn't have to do that. But boy, oh boy, was it the cherry on the fucking cake when it's Stack that lived, right? Or Smoke. Spoilers.
Oh, good Lord.
I think it's Stack. Smoke? Okay.
Smoke is the one at the end.
No, not the end of the post credit. I'm not talking to
that's Stack.
Okay, that's Stack. So Smoke, who, like, it's him, and spoilers again. Sorry, I ruined the fucking movie if you've
at this point you've already told them.
Yeah. So fucking the vampires go crazy, kill everybody but Smoke and fucking Sammy, the preacher's kid. And he tells the preacher kid, get on out of here. He gets his fucking box of guns. Mm-hmm. sets up because he knew the Klan members were coming to come shoot everybody at this place, and he just takes them out, war style. Again, throwaway lines of that they went to war, which is why they probably got all these weapons anyways, because they stole them from in Chicago from, I forget if it was the Irish or Italy, whoever had the weapons. One had money, one had weapons, but they got the guns, and that throwaway line leads to a throwaway line of how, oh no, the white people were going to come kill y'all tonight, which is heart fucking breaking. And then you get fucking that. You get a goddamn massacre that was rightfully, I was applauded. I was applauded because I didn't think we were going to get that. And then, yeah.
No, I was wondering where it was going to come because it's in the trailer with the big machine gun thing. And I was like, when are we going to get that scene?
Right. Like, is he just mowing down vampires? No, he's mowing down Ku Klux Klan members. And I loved it. But again, a movie that is self-contained so wonderfully, like I said, the Sammy kid lives, and then you get a mid-credit scene of 1992. Sammy owned he's playing blues, he's traveling, he's playing at this bar, and his bar, I believe. And here comes fucking Smoke and Haley Steinfeld, and they're wearing their best 1992 clothes. And they're just like, hey, if you want, we'll kill you. I mean, I promised them I wouldn't take you or whatever, but you're on near your deathbed if you want to live forever. And he's like, nah, I'm good. And I'm just like, at the very end where he's like, that day was my favorite day of all time till fucking vampires showed up. Was it for you? And I loved it because he answered him legitimately as Smoke, not vampire Smoke.
Right.
He answered him as Smoke, being like, yeah, I love that day too. And that's what this movie for me really just, it's all encompassed in one day, and everything about it felt real. Like the lore for the vampire was real. Everything that they mentioned witchcraft in the movie, basically, and it's believable because of everything that's around you. Everything just felt so good. I can't wait to own this movie and watch it again. I'm tempted, if I get a free time between Thunderbolts and Mission Impossible, of taking Brooke to go see it. That's how much I loved it. For me, they're obviously not the same movie, but there is a case where, like, if you look at Jaws as a horror movie, as like a classic, great horror movie, you got Psycho next to that. I kind of put Sinners in the same fucking boat.
Yeah, it's a really strong movie, and family is a strong theme throughout the whole thing, and not just like the blood family, but just the family of everybody feels like family at that club.
Right.
And so, when you get to that ending, it's just like, okay, everything works, man. It's
everything.
I have no knocks. And as far as the first article I saw after the first weekend was basically saying like, oh, it made a ton of money and it's this original horror film, but it's got a long way to be a success. To make its money back, because it has to, because it cost this amount of money plus it spent this amount of money. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not the headline you should. And even like big celebrities came out where like Ben Stiller was commenting on it. Somebody else did too, and saying like that's not the headline you should be running.
No. And then to top that off, and that's why I kind of loved it, because like there was a side that was like, what are you doing? Why are these the articles that are coming out? So much so, it had a very high Monday in money, Tuesday in money, Wednesday in money, Thursday in money, and then that weekend, like I'm talking abnormal, like most Mondays make about 3-4 on bigger movies. It made $7 consistently $1 million through the week. I think even 8 or 9 on Tuesday because it was $5 day. But like, you get to that weekend, the second weekend, it makes $45 million. It was 48 its first weekend. It had a 6% drop. That is unheard of.
Yeah.
That is crazy. And I even was like, I bet it makes 28 to 30. I bet it has a nice fall, but like not too. It basically made its opening numbers.
Yeah. And there were two other movies that weekend that did over 20 million.
That's right.
So,
The Star Wars did
yeah.
over 20, and The Accountant 2
Yeah.
did 20. And it was like, it's a good weekend at the movies, I guess.
Yeah. And for it to still make that kind of money in its second week, and like you said, it's unheard of. I mean, you expect at least a 30% drop on week 2.
Right. It's crazy. I think this movie is proving that it's different, and I absolutely love that. There are sometimes in a year that I go, I want to see this in theater, and then for some reason, whether it's time, family, work, whatever, I miss it, and then when I watch it at home, I'm like, God, I wish I saw that in theater. I was fearful I was going to have that feeling with this one, and I'm so fucking glad I did it.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking glad. What are your thoughts on Sinners? Do you like it? Are you a fan, or do you plan to see it? If you have not, let us know in the comments. DeathCurseClub. We release these things weekly, baby. This Friday, in between Alien Day and May the 4th, we are doing a crossover event that you do not want to miss. Alien Day and May the 4th. If you can't figure it out, you're stupid. But that'll be Friday. Jim will be with me on that. Till next time, we shall spook you later.
Never come back again. It's not a death curse. It's not a death